Here this evening. It is with great honor and privilege that we gather here today to celebrate Pakistan's National Day. 23rd March marks a momentous day in our history. It was on this day in 1940 when Muslims of the subcontinent passed a historic Lahore resolution and demanded a separate homeland where they could live freely according to the principles of Islam. Through a consistent and dedicated political struggle of our founding fathers, the dream of an independent state of Pakistan became a reality on 14th of August 1947. We shall begin in the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most beneficent. I invite Mr. Ghulam Fareed for the recitation of Holy Quran.
Assalamu alaikum everybody, and let me start by wishing you a very happy Ramadan, and I hope all the prayers and the ibadat and the fasting is accepted by the God Almighty. Today is a very special day for us. We are celebrating the 23rd March, which is the National Day of Pakistan. But today something very unique and exceptional has happened, which you don't see in many diplomatic functions. Normally there's a protocol. When you have a diplomatic occasion, especially of a national day, you have a diplomatic protocol that you will be having your brothers, your friends, your families, and the host country would be there. And I'm very proud that today I have such a huge gathering of my friends and brothers that one can never think of. But the funny thing and the best thing is that the official part of this ceremony will continue for another 20-30 minutes, because all of our formal protocol guests would be arriving immediately after the iftar, because they were involved in a very important meeting in the presidency. So I would request you that whenever the formal part will be there, you will also be a part of that. Having said that, I'm extremely grateful to this galaxy of people who are around me. Some of them have already gone for some other commitments, but I'm really grateful for honoring these people, for honoring us rather, by their gracious presence. These are the people who have seen a multitude of aspects in life and our friendship in the history of Pakistan-Turkey relationship, and these are the icons. Having said this, let me very briefly, because I'm sure that we have a very little time before the iftar, tell you the reason why we are here. It's a traditional day of celebration, but it has a great and significant meaning for us. It means that this is the day the concept of Pakistan was conceptualized and formalized in a formal way. It was on this very day, 23rd March, which I'm just signifying, although it's the 4th April, that the dream was visualized, conceptualized, and it was put into motion. And within a span of 7 years, by the grace of God, in the month of Ramadan, Pakistan came into existence as an independent nation on 14th August. Why was the need for this to happen? It was a very simple thing. Subcontinent was being inhabited at that time by 3 major populations: Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, and the British rulers. They were the 4th one, but they were the outsiders. It was a question of a simple democracy and a simple majority. The Muslims of the subcontinent have a totally different lifestyle than the Hindus of the subcontinent. So this cultural, religious, ethnic, and sociological strife which was there ultimately culminated in the thought process of a two-nation theory, and through which evolved the process of Pakistan, and through which we evolved. And in the words of Qaeda-e-Azam, after the very fact that the independence was there, we announced a policy of friendship. We announced a policy of equality. We announced a policy of being fair to our neighbors. We announced a policy of being a part of the international community in every peace and process. And that is how we strove to, despite the very fact that we were challenged from the very beginning by some very, I would say, mysterious and strange decisions of the fate which resulted in the Kashmir problem. However, life moves on and it has to move on. Pakistan believes in peace and we have always strove for it and we will continue to strove for that. But we will always be there to talk about the peace and justice of others and to be just to others, be it with the people of Kashmir and be it with the people of Gaza, and that's how it should be. Very briefly, I would like to just touch upon the most important part of my today's speech, which is our relationship with Turkey. Pakistan and Turkey are not traditional friendly countries. We are far more than that. We strongly believe that we are a country which have everything in common. As people say that they are basically two countries with one millet, two iki devlet tek millet. Why? Because we have a history. The War of Independence of Turkey is not the beginning of our relationship. Our relationship goes down very deep in the annals of history because it started with Babur. It started with the invasion of the Mughals in the subcontinent. It started with the advent of the Muslim rise all over the world. It started with our cultural affinities. Basically, the Effendis titles were conferred in 18th century in subcontinent. Ottomans, the Caliphate was seen as the pivotal part of the Muslim empire, so the process of the unison was there. And that is how we were there when our brothers needed us in the War of Independence. Whatever we did was our duty, and we are always grateful to Allah for giving us the strength. Ever since that, when Pakistan came into independence, the very fact that one of the most learned poet of Turkey was appointed as the ambassador of Turkey to Pakistan gives the ample evidence to the fact that we are two nations which have from the very beginning stood and started to understand each other like a family, and that is how we moved on. Whenever we had a problem, we were very, very honored to be supported by Turkey, be it the calamities in the form of earthquake, be in the form of floods, or even disputes. Turkey has always been one of the strongest friends that we can ever think of. The same we can say about us when it comes to Turkey, that we have always been a true friend and a brother to Turkey, no matter what has been the reason. We have always stood by, and we are proud of this fact that we will always stand by because we know that Turkey has always stood by us. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would not hold you much because I know in another minute's time the iftar would be opened. What I would request to all of you is that since today the protocol is slightly made in a different way, I would be very honored that after the break of the iftar and after opening the fast, we will again gather and we will listen to our brothers who would be joining us after the iftar. So with this, I once again thank all of you for gracing us by your gracious presence, and I'm extremely grateful to all of you for being here, and I really want to thank you from the core of my heart, and all I have to say is that God bless you all. Thank you.
Okay, that was, we call it namkeen goat. Salty meat.